So I think it's important to remember that cancer can affect anybody. Cancer can affect both the young and the old. And so the important principle, number one for me, is to know your body. In other words, if you know your body, when you know your body and something is happening that wasn't there, that you cannot explain, and that is no longer, or that is staying there, not going away, it's a red flag sign. It means something is going on. And so this is relevant for both kids and adults, because there are no universal blood test that's going to tell you you have cancer or not, or you are at risk of cancer. So for instance, younger boys, teenagers, they are more prone to testicular cancer. So we teach young men to examine their testes and to look for lumps and bumps that were not there that may be appearing. Younger girls, younger ladies are more prone to cervical cancer. And so we teach them to have regular pap smears, okay? And then as you get older, the older women are more at risk of getting breast cancer. So we teach them to do regular what we call BSE, breast self-examination. And then from the age of 40 or onwards, we are advised to have mammograms. Older men are more at risk of prostate cancer. So they need to have a blood test. Fortunately, there is a blood test for prostate cancer, and what we call a digital rectal examination, where the doctor inserts the finger into the anus to feel the size of the prostate. And so those are the general tips. The other cancers we screen when there are symptoms. So I think if you're asking about sort of age groups, teenagers, testes, younger girls, pap smears, older, breast, mammogram, and then the prostate examination. In between that is, I would say, once in your 20s, visit your doctor, probably twice in your 30s, and then from 40s and 50s, at least once a year to go for regular checkups. So the question about whether men can get breast cancer is interesting. The principle is, if you have a breast, you can get cancer. So do men have breasts? Absolutely. So men can get breast cancer. Obviously, women, because of their nature, have a much higher risk of getting breast cancer. So breast cancer is much more common in females. It's not as common in men, but men can get breast cancer. And so we do advise men, check your breast, and if you feel something abnormal, something that was not there is now there, you must have it checked out. Don't assume that breast cancer is an illness or condition of females only. So it's very important, because not every cancer is related to family history, okay? If there is cancer in your family, you have a higher risk, but you may not get cancer. The opposite applies. Even though there is no family history of cancer in your family, you may well get cancer. You may be that first person who has cancer in the family. So that is no reason or no excuse not to worry about cancer or not to go for checkups. So it can happen, and be aware and be alert for that. When we talk about the stages of cancer, we talk about where the cancer is in your body. So the earlier the stage, the more localized it is. For instance, if you talk about breast cancer, a stage 1 breast cancer would be a cancer that is localized to the breast only. And these cancers are the easiest to cure, because if you cut out the cancer or you cut out the breast, depending on the type of tumor, you are generally cured. Stage 2 cancer would be one that is within the breast but infiltrating into the surrounding tissue, including the lymph glands. Stage 3 is something that has gone beyond the breast into the surrounding area. And then stage 4 is the worst type, and that's usually at the end, where it is now infiltrated and spread via the blood to distal organs. So it can go to your brain, to the lungs, for instance, and to the liver. And of course, as you know, those cancers are much more difficult to treat. Yes and no. It all depends on the stage and the type of cancer. As I said, so stage 1 cancer, where it is localized to the organ, that's where the cancer started and you found it early enough. If you cut out the cancer or cut out that particular organ or part of that organ, you could well be pronounced cured. So the message with cancer is early detection equals cure. Late detection, where it has spread, much more difficult to cure and sometimes even impossible. Yeah, it's a very important question, talking about nutrition and the role of foods and cancer. There are many schools of thought, and many people tell us, if you eat this product, you'll never get cancer, or this is known to prevent cancer, and eating lots of this will give you cancer. And I think the science is very clear. There is no one particular food that can prevent cancer. There is no one particular food that will give you cancer, for instance. So principles apply. And what we're saying is you have to live a healthy lifestyle. For instance, we do know that eating lots of red meat increases your risk of colon cancer. But that does not mean that everyone who eats red meat will get colon cancer. Neither does it mean if you don't eat red meat, you're not going to get colon cancer. That's what is very important to understand. So what we're saying is keep your food fresh. Avoid processed foods. Have at least 5 portions of fruit and vegetables every day. Keep your weight down. Obesity is probably now the #1 cause of associated cause of cancer. And exercise regularly, get enough sleep, and drink enough water. So eat a good, healthy, mixed diet, but avoid foods that are anything that's in a bottle, a box, a can, and a packet. Try and avoid that. Keep things fresh, but don't look for one particular product or one particular type of food and think or hope that will keep the cancer away.